conference will now be recorded.
Good evening and welcome to the September 17th, 2025 South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners meeting. I will call this meeting to order. We have all commissioners present this evening. At this time, if you would all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Under announcements, all public sessions of the South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners are electronically recorded, filed, and posted to the Township website for public access. At this time, I'll ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to please review our public virtual meeting rules.
Thank you. The public virtual meeting rules are as follows. Courtesy of the floor for non-agenda items will be at the beginning and end of the agenda. Public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. For all listed agenda items, the board president will call for courtesy of the floor prior to the Board of Commissioners taking action on that specific agenda item. For in-person attendees, please raise your hand to be recognized, then move to the podium when directed. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record and may then proceed with asking your question. For those participating virtually, please mute your microphone or telephone to avoid any background noise that may cause interference during the meeting. The chat box feature will be active throughout the meeting. If you have a comment or question, please type your full name and address into the chat box. The staff member monitoring GoToMeeting will then unmute your microphone and you will have the opportunity to comment or ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I'd also like to announce the Board of Commissioners met in executive session prior to tonight's meeting to discuss legal and personnel matters. Agenda item 4, courtesy of the floor, opportunity for any member of the public to comment on non-agenda items. Is there anyone here this evening who would like to address the board? Is there anyone online with a public comment? Hearing and seeing none, moving on to agenda item 5, meeting minutes from the September 3rd, 2025 meeting were in your packet. Are there any comments or questions? I need a motion to approve. So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have no ordinances tonight. Resolution 7A, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township, Lehigh County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving and adopting the South Whitehall Township Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System MS4 permit and pollutant reduction plan. I'll ask our Director of Operations, Herb Bender, to please present.
Thank you. Public Works MS4 Department and Administration respectfully request that the Board of Commissioners formally adopt the Township's updated pollutant reduction plan and authorize the submission of the Municipal Separate Stormwater System permit renewal to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. The PRP was made available for public review during the public comment period, which ran from August 1st, 2025 to August 30th, 2025. No public comments were received during this time. The township engineer has reviewed the PRP and the associated permit renewal documentation has found it to be consistent with the PADEP requirements.
Thank you, Herb. Does the board have any comments or questions on this resolution? Any public comment? Hearing and seeing none, do I have a motion to adopt said resolution?
So moved.
Second. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Herb. Agenda item 7B, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners, South Whitehall Township, to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development 2025 Pennsylvania Gaming Local Share Account, Lehigh Northampton Counties Grant Program to provide funding to be used for the replacement of fire apparatus. I'll ask Township Manager Tom Petrucci to please present.
Thank you. So in January of 2025, the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, through the Governor's Center for Local Government Service, completed a comprehensive fire apparatus study for South Whitehall Township. The study, which is enclosed for reference, provided a detailed evaluation of the township's fire apparatus fleet, its replacement needs, and the fiscal impacts associated with assuring reliable and modern fire protection services. The analysis highlighted that the township's 3 volunteer fire companies for which the township provides funding to replace apparatus, which would consist of Cetronia, Greenwald, and Woodlawn fire departments, require a structured apparatus replacement plan due to aging vehicles, rising costs, and extended lead times for delivery, which can range from 24 to up to 50 months. The analysis specifically recommended that South Whitehall Township and Cetronia Volunteer Fire Department begin discussions immediately to replace Engine 3, given its high utilization age and expected delivery delays. So the next round of the Pennsylvania Gaming Local Share Account LSA for Lehigh and Northampton Counties program is open currently with an application deadline of September 30th. So it is the recommendation and the request at this time to submit a grant application to the LSA program in the amount of $1 million to fund the replacement of Engine 3. So before you this evening is a resolution to effectuate that request.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. And I want to thank you and the internal staff as well as our fire chiefs for working with DCED on this apparatus study. Your thorough work and forward-thinking approach are essential in assuring that our emergency services remain strong and efficient in the township. So thank you. Does the board have any comments or questions on this agenda item? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said resolution?
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7C, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Ameriplex Communications. And Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. On May 8th of this year, the township publicly opened proposals from 11 companies in response to the township advertisement for information technology services. So that was RFP 2025-01. The RFP was advertised once in a local publication as required by law. 126 companies downloaded and received the RFP documents. So subsequently to that, the purchasing department narrowed down the responses to 5 potential vendors, and then staff had further narrowed it down to 3 companies that were then interviewed by township staff. So once the interviews were concluded, Ameriplex Solutions, which is the incumbent provider of IT services for the township, scored the highest and had an exceptional interview and was selected to continue as the IT service provider. During the July 16th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting, the governing body approved moving forward with entering into a professional services agreement for a 3-year term with Ameriplex Solutions. The agreement also allows for 2 one-year extensions after the initial period. The monthly obligation is approximately $25,000 per month, including licenses that are required. So the purpose of this memo is now to request authorization from the board to approve a resolution which would also authorize execution of the following agreements and renewals with Ameriplex Solutions. So we have Ameriplex Solutions, the Terms and Conditions Agreement dated August 28, 2025. The Microsoft 365 licensing renewal, quote number MPS 139942, which covers like Office 365 and related Microsoft subscriptions, and the Ameriplex Solutions, the managed service provider, security service provider renewal, quote MPS 1393997. So that covers IT support, cybersecurity, network, and disaster recovery services. So with that, I would ask for approval of the resolution as submitted.
Thank you, Tom. Does the board have any comments or questions? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said resolution?
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8, motions. 8A, we have a motion to proceed with advertising of bid for the Hamilton Boulevard and Lincoln Avenue intersection improvements project conditioned upon Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, PennDOT, approval through the Automated Red Light Enforcement RLE grant program, provided no substantive revisions are required by PennDOT. If you'd please present.
Thank you. So South Whitehall was previously awarded an automated red light enforcement grant in the amount of $554,855.31 to conduct signal improvements at the Hamilton Boulevard Lincoln Avenue intersection. So the identified scope of work for the project included the following: traffic signal optimization to improve operations, reduce congestion, and enhance safety; installation of crosswalk striping in accordance with PennDOT Publication 212, removal of existing pavement loop sensors and replacement with traffic sensor cameras, installation of countdown timers and quick release push buttons, installation of sidewalk and bus stop pads, for transit users, and improved signage. So this evening, we have now progressed to the next step in this process, which is the advertisement of the bid package. So the bid package for the scope of work and the bid specifications were prepared by the township engineer and township staff, and they do incorporate all of the automated red light enforcement grant requirements that were part of the contract. So previous to this evening, the motion was written up in such a way that it allowed for the conditioned language that if for PennDOT's approval. So PennDOT has subsequently indicated in writing that the bid specifications as prepared are ready to go. So this evening, would just seek the motion to approve the advertising of the bid. Just so everyone's aware, the project timeline is as follows. Right now would be PennDOT approval and bid advertisement in the late summer, early fall. We want to, provided everything's within budget, proceed with the bid award and then the notice to proceed. Winter of 25, early 26 would be the substantial anticipated completion of the construction. And we are trying to coordinate so that this work gets done prior to the start of the 2026 Dorney Park season to help mitigate traffic concerns. So as indicated, I would seek a motion tonight to approve the advertising of the bid for the Hamilton Boulevard and Lincoln Avenue intersections improvements project through the RLE grant program.
Very good, Tom. Thank you for that presentation and thank you for this timeline. Certainly hope that weather is on the side of the work being done. It'd be really wonderful if this was done in early 26 prior to Dorney Park opening. So does the board have any comments or questions on this item? Any public comment? Yes. Come to the microphone, give us your name and address for the record. Just turn on the microphone, please. Thank you.
Don Sheasley, 1411 Hampton Road. My friends keep asking me, when are we going to get a people bridge over Hampton? I know that was discussed before.
So there are discussions right now in terms of long-term improvements for Hamilton Boulevard. We are actually actively in the middle of our Hamilton Boulevard safety audit.
Right.
So the findings of that will be ready probably in the next few months. But whether or not that includes a pedestrian bridge over Hamilton, that's largely dependent on federal funding. And may or may not be part of the recommendations, depending on the capacity and the fiscal funding opportunities for something of that magnitude.
Okay, yeah, because my friend said we have all the police officers there making sure people don't get hit. Wouldn't it be cheaper to put a bridge over so they don't have to?
Yeah, we're looking at long-term options, but again, it's highly expensive type of projects that will be dependent upon federal and state coordination as well, federal and state funding.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Is there anyone online with a question? Do I have a motion to approve said motion? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8B, we have a motion to approve the 2026 minimum municipal obligation MMO for police, public works, and office personnel defined benefit pension plans, and approval of 2026 MMO for non-uniformed employees defined contribution pension plan. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania requires public agencies to approve the minimum municipal obligations for each of the respective pension plans administered by the township on or before September 30th of each fiscal year. So the worksheet percentages, normal costs, and administrative costs for the defined benefit plans are derived from the actuarial valuation report, which right now we're in the 1/1/23 reporting period. So that was previously submitted to the Commonwealth in accordance with Act 205 requirements. So the township has office, police, and public works defined benefit pension plans, and then we have a defined contribution plan for office and public works. The defined contribution plan is based on a flat percentage of 6%. The township has received a notice from the Auditor General that state aid distribution amounts will occur on or before September 24th. Once those funds are deposited, the township is required to then distribute the funds into the custodian bank account for the pension plan. I will notify the board once that action has been completed. For this evening, we're respectfully requesting a motion to approve the following: the 2026 MMO for police, public works, and office personnel defined benefit pension plans, and the approval of the 26 MMO for non-uniform employees defined contribution pension plan. The specific amounts are provided as follows: the office defined benefit plan, $749,665. The police pension plan, $1,302,957. The public works pension plan, $777,974. And the defined contribution plan, $256,630. So total $3,087,226. These numbers would have to be placed in the 2026 preliminary draft operating budget. The state aid, which we just received notification today, is just going to be under $1 million, is for the 25 MMO, which needs to be completed in accordance with Act 205 requirements. So this is pension season right now, making sure you're paying your 25 MMO and then approving your 26 MMO and putting it in the budget.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Questions or comments from the board? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Then item 8C, we have a motion to advertise bid for the 41st Street well site 4 log piping improvements project. I'll ask Director of Operations for Ben to please present.
Thank you. South Whitehall Township respectfully requests the board's permission to advertise the bid for the 41st Street well site project. This project involves a replacement of the existing chlorine contact tank with new snake piping to ensure continued compliance with DEP standards. Attached to this memo are the completed bid specifications for your review. These documents detail the scope of work, contractor requirements, and all relative compliance and construction standards necessary for the project. So what we're looking for is township staff respectfully requests the board permission to bid this project with amending the bid spec with the local share account grant contract. So that's currently not in there. That will be added before the advertisement will go out, if you're so inclined to allow us to do that. After receiving the bids and opening, we will come back and ask permission to award the bid at the October 15th meeting. This is budgeted in the 2025 capital budget for $150,000. And we also received an LSA grant for $22,578.
Thank you, Herb. And thank you and your team, Tricia, Dicker, Donna, Zacharu, Mike Elias, all for working to pull this all together and get the bid ready to go out. We appreciate your work. And also, it's very nice to see that a grant was received for this as well. So thank you for the efforts. The board appreciates the work to offset these projects with grants when we're able to do that. So thank you. The board have any comments or questions on this agenda item? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? 5-0. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then to item 8D, we have a motion to approve requests for utilization of the South Whitehall Township Fire Police for the Coopersburg Halloween Parade event on Sunday, October 12th, 2025 from 2:15 p.m. to 4:30. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. So the special fire police law of the Commonwealth requires that the governing body approve any use of fire police outside of their normal scope of emergency call outs and so forth. So one such special event is before you this evening. So we're seeking approval of the following motion: approval of the use of special fire police in accordance with Title 35 for the Coopersburg Halloween Parade event to be held on Sunday, October 12th, 2025, from 2:15 to 4:30 in Coopersburg Borough, primarily located along the two intersections along Main Street.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. We appreciate our fire police. We thank them for our service to our community. Board have any comments or questions on this agenda item?
Yeah, we have plenty of fire police.
Any other comments from the board? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8E, we have a motion to approve Ridge Farms developer's request for pre-security agreement for Phase 1B. I'll ask Director of Community Development, Dave Manhart, to please present.
So we have a request for a pre-security agreement for the Ridge Farm Phase 1B. Phase 1B is located at the northwest corner of Cedar Crest and Walbert. It includes some townhomes, duplexes, and town's over flat. So it's apartments with a 2-story townhouse above it. The applicant is requesting a pre-security agreement to allow them to proceed with all work related to 1B. The scope of the work requested exceeds the typical scope of work permitted with a pre-security agreement. Typically, we allow site work, erosion and sediment control prior to pre-security. No financial, what they're asking for is no financial security for the improvements is proposed to be paid at this time, despite a cost estimate having been prepared. The majority of the conditions of approval remain unsatisfied. We have entered into pre-security agreements for a significant portion of work previously with Phase 1A, which was on the other side of the street. Based upon that experience, staff has listed a list of concerns that we had based on that experience, including water utility concerns, sanitary sewer concerns, stormwater, stabilization concerns, lighting concerns, and coordination with PennDOT. So at this time, based on those concerns, we're not recommending we move forward with a motion to approve that pre-security until we get some further clarification on some of those concerns.
Thank you for presenting staff's recommendation and this memo for the board. I would take a moment to ask our township engineer if you've got any comments for the board regarding this request.
We met with township staff and assisted Dave in preparing that list, so we have no other comments at this time.
Very good. Attorney Zader, do you have any legal guidance for the board concerning this request?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that? I couldn't quite hear.
Any guidance for the board regarding this?
I suspect I may, but I see that Mr. Rabitz is here on behalf of the developer, so I'd like to hear what he has to say first.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good evening. If you'd please come up to the microphone. You could, okay. Just make sure it's turned on. You just,
I'm pretty loud, so.
well, it's a virtual meeting as well, so if you just give your name.
Ron Rabitz, Fitzpatrick, Lentz, and Buba.
Very good.
Chris McLean, who sent the request, had a conflict today. And also our engineers here, Jason Engelhardt, in case any questions come up. So Mr. Manhart summarized it well in terms of our request. One thing I'd like to put out there, I don't know if it'll change anything, is the original request offered $50,000 as a deposit. Our client has said he's willing to go up to $120,000 with replenishment at $80,000. So I would say that's an amendment. You know, obviously from a technical standpoint, we believe that in Phase 1A, the work that we requested this last time is the same amount of work. In terms of not allowing utilities and some other thing, it creates double work. The request of our client is allowed under the law, both under your SALDO and also the municipality's planning code. And we did it before. You wouldn't have done it if it wasn't legal. So we stand by our request with the amendment. If we want to talk any technical, are there any technical issues? Because the other thing that we want to raise, the reason we want to do this is because of the weather. Our client would like to get some of the work done while, the weather is still nice, and it's going to take some time to meet all the conditions to record the plan to post the security. So if you're going to do the work, we'd like to do a larger, expansive work and not have to do double work.
Do you have anything to add? Sure.
Yeah.
So
Just turn the mic on and just state your name for the record and for the people online.
Yes, sorry. Jason Engelhard from Langen Engineering, the site engineer. So just a couple other things I wanted to point out. Ron touched on it a little bit, but there's a sequence of construction with the soil erosion approval. So we would be following that sequence of construction. That starts out with both stormwater basins, which were constructed as sediment basins being built up front. So those, as well as the connections of the stormwater, that all gets installed anyway as your very first step here. So that really addresses a lot of those potential stormwater concerns. The idea of the rework is just that we have to bring some material down and fill closer to Wahlberg, some of that soil. So to do that, we would want to put those utilities in while we're moving the material, so we don't have to do that twice. We have to move the material and then have to excavate it out to put the utilities back in. So we're trying to avoid that piece of this. I think also in my discussion with Mr. Coase earlier today, he would amend the request and be willing to forego the water, curbing, paving, trees, and sidewalk. So this would really be mostly about utilities outside of water because of the concern addressed for water. So again, you'd be willing to forgo water, curbing, paving, trees, and sidewalk. So, and the idea of that additional money posted up front would be to allow to hopefully provide some reserve if there was any concern by the township that there would be some monies available to address anything that might come up in that
Great, thank
regard. I
you.
wanted to point that out.
I will ask Attorney Zader, given the comments from both the attorney and the engineer. You've got a guidance
Sure,
from
I'd be
both.
glad to comment. The motion before you, you certainly, as with all motions, you can vote in favor, you can vote to deny, or you can table it. And at the start of the conversation, Mr. Manhart mentioned that the staff had a number of concerns. I now hear, particularly the comment from Mr. Engelhart, that Mr. Coase is suggesting that water, paving, trees, sidewalk, curbing, those would not be part of what the request presently is in front of the board. So that's a change of circumstances from my view. And so whether or not the staff concerns that exist vis-a-vis the change of request from the applicant can then be meshed in a way that the township is satisfied, I think that justifies additional conversation between staff and developer. So if you were to act tonight, not with an outright approval, but either a table or a denial, but with the direction to staff that they work with the developer to see if there's a way to come to an understanding that those concerns can be addressed, or in some other matter, maybe that's worth pursuing.
Very good, thank you. Attorney Zader. Board, any-
May I
Yes.
interject? Thank you. Don't disagree with Mr. Zader. I don't know if any of our comments have, if you have any comments, Mr. Manhart, that we could, the reason where I'm getting at is this. Of course, we want to work with the township and we'd like to come here with the township recommending that the resolution be passed. At the same time, our client would like to move this forward. So if you want to discuss it, we will continue to discuss it. From our end, we'd at least like a denial on the first request. That doesn't mean we're not going to talk to you, or we could amend it if you're satisfied now, but understood that we are raising some new issues now.
Yeah, I think we would want some more clarification and sit down and go over that estimate, kind of tag what's included, what's not included. And that's some of our concern is, what's exactly going to be done and some of the phasing. So by all means, we'd be happy to sit down and work through that to address our concerns.
Yeah. So from my end, if, just because we're here on the request for Mr. McLean, if that's not acceptable, which I think it is, if you deny that, we're okay with it, with the understanding,
Continue to work.
things have changed and we'll continue working with the township.
Understood. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I understand why you want to do that with moving utilities and makes perfect sense, but then you come back and say this, and maybe that, and I'd rather see us deny this, talk to staff, make it clear of what you're going to do, and then come back to us a little bit clearer, because right now, I'm not really sure what you want and don't want now with the changes that you mentioned. So if it would be a little bit cleaner for me, that would help me understand what you're looking to do. But I truly understand you wanting to be efficient in doing your project.
If I could interject, traditionally with some developers, I should say some developments, staff has allowed for a pre-security agreement with respect to essentially grading in the complementary E&S. That usually has not gone to the board.
Okay.
So that much, I think staff can act on its own. But it's the add-ons that were brought up in Mr. McLean's letter that's now been modified by what Jason had to say. That requires discussion, and I think you're right. That's needs to be pursued.
Yeah, it certainly makes sense to allow staff to work together with the applicant. If it needs to come back to the board, you certainly can, but if it can be handled internally, that's certainly ideal as well. Any public comment on this agenda item before I call for?
Yeah, and I would much rather see you handle it with staff and not have to come back to us, right? That's, so you guys can work everything out, and that
Understood.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
No comments?
I agree with Chris.
Right, and even with the, I'm sorry. And even with the other agreement under 1A, I was on the board at that time. It didn't come before us. It was handled by staff. So I appreciate what you're saying, but I feel in this instance, keep working with them.
We intend to.
Yeah.
That's why I just said agreement, just from a procedural standpoint, so we can tell our client, yes, that one was denied, which we understand, and we're going to continue to work with the township.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So if there's no public comment, we have a motion to approve the developer's request for pre-security for Phase 1B, given all the conversation and the change of circumstances. I'll call for a vote to approve this motion. Does the board want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we vote.
Yes, make a motion to approve. I'll second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Opposed.
So the motion fails. Wonderful. So at this point, then we would direct the applicant to work with staff and resolve this.
It's been done. Thank you.
So you
Very good.
get it done with them and.
Yes.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you for your time this evening. Giving out peanuts. Agenda item 9, correspondence and information. Tom, if you'd please review boards and commissions.
All right. So upcoming meetings and events with details to be posted on the township website. Monday, September 22nd, 6 p.m. the Landscape and Shade Tree Commission. Monday, September 22nd, 7 p.m. the Environmental Advisory Council. Wednesday, September 24th, 7 p.m. Zoning Hearing Board is canceled. Saturday, September 27th, 4 p.m. is our Sunset to Summer Festival at Covered Bridge Park, hoping for good weather this year. Wednesday, October 1st, 7 p.m. is another Board of Commissioners meeting.
Thank you, Tom. We have no direction and discussion. Agenda item 11 is courtesy of the floor. Again, public comment on non-agenda items. Anyone present this evening? Yes, sir. Again, name and address for the record.
Don Sheasley, 1411 Hampton Road. Is there anything new with Calvary Temple? Is that on a zoning board meeting or anything?
They pushed their zoning hearing board till November, which I believe would be November 20th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm correct. All right. And then they did refile for the planning commission. So that'll be on a future planning commission meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other public comment? Is there anyone online with a public comment this evening? None? Moving on, agenda item 12, I need a motion to authorize payment of invoices and disbursements.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We have no exec session to schedule. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.
Who's Duran?
Should have played the music when you came in.